Hi, this is Abhimanyu, and I have with me the team of Maja Ma. There are a lot of people, so I won't name all of them at once. I'll go to them individually. So, good morning to everyone, and thank you for your time. Madhuri ma'am, I'll begin with you first of all. I love the trailer, by the way. Looking forward to the film. There was a time, and that time still exists, that actresses in particular, when they take on complex roles which have layers, which have a backstory, which have sometimes even a negative side, they don't like to do it back to back. कि कहीं एक image ना हो जाए. आपको image की तो चिंता of course है नहीं, having done it all, but you have been doing it back to back now. First, Fame Game, and now this complex layered characters. So what sort of enables and empowers you to do that again and again, role after role?
That's because those kind of roles are being written. And let's start with that.
Yeah.
And when people approach me with these kind of roles, I think it just excites me because when you have such layered characters, there's so much to do. And, the more complex the character, the more challenging it is. And that's what I enjoy about these roles. And I don't think I'll ever stop doing them because that's what every artist is looking for. And when you are presented with your dream kind of a thing, that where you want to really sink your teeth into the role, then it's exciting. And every day in the morning when I wake up and I say, hey, I'm shooting for this film, it's exciting even today.
I'll come to you, Ritwik, now. So this is not a traditional hero kind of a role, but it still has its challenges, its nuances. What made you say yes to, first of all, the character and the film?
Because I would like to believe it's a very traditional hero kind of a role with newer challenges and newer ideas to it. And honestly, there was no choice for me to say yes or no, because I really wanted to be a part of this film. And I'm extremely grateful, and it's lucky of me that the makers of this film have accepted me in and given me this part. So I couldn't have asked for better.
Barkha, coming to you, when there's an ensemble cast, there are so many people. There can be two feelings an actor has, which is either you feel like, oh, there are so many people to support me, or B, you're like, I have to give my best so that overshadow na ho jao. What was it for you, the primary feeling?
I think it was neither of them, because when they told me that, okay, it's an ensemble cast, I'm like, okay, who? And then they told me who. And I think any actor with whatever experience I have in their right frame of mind will not think either that or that. They'll just be like, wow, when can we start shooting?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was for me, because I consider myself very, very, very lucky to be able to play Aisha's character. I remember even while auditioning for this character, I tested with Ritwik as well. And like this whole process was like, throughout, like with every round, I was just like, just make it work. I just hope this works. I just hope this works.
Yeah.
And by then, I didn't even know Madhuri ma'am's in the film,
Right,
I was just in love with the whole experience and the character. And then after I got to know, that's when I realized that MD ma'am's in the film as well. And I remember asking my director, I'm like, I'm mazak kar rahe ho na? Like, what? No. So for me, it was like Sone Pe Suhaga. And so like, I don't think it was either that or that. It was just like, let's start, guys, before you change your mind. Let's start.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderfully put. Srishti, I'll come to you. You've had a very unusual road to acting, and I really appreciate the way you have come in, and now you're doing mainstream films. It's a two-pronged question. First of all, ab acting ras aa rahi hai. Dusra, do people sometimes take you less seriously sometimes because of the background that you've come from?
पहला क्वेश्चन है कि एक्टिंग रास आ रही है कि नहीं?
Yeah.
अरे मैं कर ही रही हूँ क्योंकि मुझे एक्टिंग ही रास आती है. I mean, I am doing this every day. I'm working so hard because this is what I want to do. This is the life I want to live. I want to shoot every day. Then I want to promote my films. And I just feel so grateful and very proud of myself, actually. I'm just giving myself a pat on the back. So acting to रास आ रही है, इसीलिए ये कर रही हूँ. और दूसरा सवाल क्या था?
That sometimes because of your background, do people take you less seriously?
Oh, no. That's never happened because I think they get where I'm coming from, which is theater and which is a lot of auditions and a lot of work. And it started from a very tiny role to better roles, to more meaty roles. So it's never been weird from the other side. And luckily, I have worked with amazing directors who have given me the space to perform and find the character according to myself, according to me. Even Anand sir, because I remember the first conversation we had, and we were talking on Zoom for a very long time about Tara Patel's character.
Right.
So even Anand sir, Shujit sir for that matter, Zoya Akhtar, all of them, they gave me the space to perform. So it was never like I felt out of place anywhere. I've always fit in, and I give my 100% to every project that I'm part of.
That is important. Madhuri ma'am, I'll come back to you. You made a very important point that these kind of characters are being written right now, which wasn't always the case earlier. Do you think that has come too late, that actresses in their 40s, 50s are being given lead roles, as we would call them, which scarcely used to happen earlier?
No, it's never too late. I think it's a welcome thing that's happening, because there's so much talent in our country. There's so many talented women, and so many less roles going around. And now that they're being written, I think they're giving all these artists a chance to show what they can do with all these roles. And it's an amazing time for women in cinema right now, according to me.
I'll just add on to one thing. When I saw the trailer, I was wondering whether the dance aspect of your character was already in the script, or did that get added on when you came on board? How did that happen?
No, it was already in the script, because the festive season is part, and parcel of the script. And like I said, it's a very important part of the puzzle. Right. So it was not really added on; it was already there.
This is a question for all three of you.
And it gave me a fabulous chance. Okay, if I might add,
exactly,
it gave me a fabulous chance, because to do a garba, because I've never done garba in my entire career. I've done so many films, but not really danced to garba, and that's what I realized. And I was like, yes, this would be a great thing to do. And I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. And all these guys danced so beautifully with me. The whole family was there, and we really had fun.
This is the question for all three of you. What was it like matching steps with Madhuri Dixit?
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well summed up.
No, I was overexcited. I was excited because I've been a dancer. And and I know if you're a dancer and you watch Madhuri ma'am, you're like, oh, when will that day come? And it did. And it did. So I was just like, yes, we're doing it.
You could go back to the 12. Yeah, sorry. You could go back to the 12-year-old Srishti and like check one thing, check off the list, right?
Too many checks, yeah. So many tak kiya hai maine.
Sorry, Barkha, you were saying something.
Oh yeah, I was saying, so if you've seen the song, I'm dancing for a part of it based on the story or whatever. But even for that part, I remember being so nervous because I'm not a trained dancer.
Right.
So I didn't want to be the cause for ma'am and everyone else to have to redo a thing. Right. So I remember going around an hour, 1.5 hours before my call time. We shot this in Film City because I was like, listen, I've only rehearsed in pants and like tracks and all of that. I need to wear this costume. I need to do it here in this. And I remember Anand sir was like, "Dhoop mein dance kar rahi ho, jao tayar ho." And I was like, no. I have to see this. So I remember like catching hold of Kruti, who was a choreographer, and I was like, nahi, ab mujhe karao. She's like, no, I need to make the dancers do their positioning and placements. I was like, no, ab mujhe karao. And like, I did one and I tried doing that whole thing. And then I went and sat. So I was that like, it was that big a deal for me, even though it was
dedication.
Part,
nice to see such dedication here.
I mean, more than dedication, I think it was just pure like, God, please don't make me for everyone.
Ritvik, anything to add to that?
No, not really. I mean, I was as excited as Srishti and as nervous as Barkha. So I'm an amalgamation of both of them.
Perfect.
He always is.
Yeah. Madhuri ma'am, just a question on that. Like you said, this was the first time you were doing Garba on screen. Now, with your training, with your experience and such diverse forms of dance that you have put on screen, I don't think there are any nerves when you try something for the first time. Or are there? Are there still nerves?
No, yeah, there are still nerves because there are a lot of expectations. And with expectations comes responsibility. And with responsibility, you have to make sure that you give it your best shot and you give the style as much pizzazz and jazz there is, and
Right.
learn the right way of doing it, because people out there who do Garba every season, they work really hard for that those, when they are actually going to perform. So they are rehearsing for it, and they have that, typical style of dancing.
Right. Right.
And every style is different. Every folk style is different in India. And it's amazing how many diverse styles are there. So I had to make very sure that, when I did the Garba, it had that lachak, it had that style,
Yeah.
that, everything that's required for it.
I'll wrap it up with a final couple of questions. This one is for all four of you. Is that there are so many family entertainers coming around. What do you think Maja Ma has different and unique that should draw the audience? We can begin with you, Madhuri ma'am.
Well, I think because it is a story of a family, and it's set against a very colorful festive season, where also the tadka is there of a quintessential Indian sagai that's going to
Right.
happen, and so that's the background. And on that, I think it's a very humorous but thought-provoking kind of a movie, where there are a lot of emotional connects, and it kind of pulls at your heartstrings, I think. And it is a beautiful story, but it's not preachy in any way, and it's
Right.
said very beautifully. And of course, there's some very, very melodious songs in the movie.
As always in every film that you do. Ritwik, coming to you.
I genuinely, I mean, I'm always scared that I'll sound like a snob when I say this, but I have to say that I think it is the most unique family drama written ever or ever seen in films, for me at least. Because as the layering is so complex yet entertaining that I don't think I've ever watched like this on screen in India before. So
Right.
I'm quite quick to watch it.
Barkha?
Okay, just to add to Ritwik, I feel even when you watch the film, you will kind of know why it is such a standout from a lot of things that we have seen. But apart from that, yeah, I think just it is an amalgamation of a whole lot of emotions and this thing that flow in very smoothly. It's not that, oh, okay, first it is only comedy, okay, now only emotion, okay, now only this. Everything, all the aspects in the film, they're very seamlessly, it feels very effortless. It very seamlessly, there's song, there's music, there's laughter, there's hurt, there's tears, there's comedy, there's romance, there's everything, drama. But all of it is so beautifully married into each
Right.
other. And so I think that is something that for me was the USP of the film. And as Ma'am said, it deals with certain issues, not issues, but it deals with topics without being too preachy.
Preach. Yeah.
Um,
Srishti?
it's a Bollywood film where all the characters are fully human, which is not seen enough, I think.
Which is rare, very rare, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of a film. Baki
Very
to
succinctly put. You should be a writer.
Stop it.
Just to end it, Madhuri ma'am, I'll come to you. The first is, it's a two-part question. First part is when you said it's a story of a sagai and everything, and I immediately went back to Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, because when I think of marriage films, I go back to that. And so, what were the biggest differences and similarities you saw a festive film about a relation, a marriage, from the ones that you have done before to this one?
It's very, very different, and that's why I did it. If it was in any way similar to Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, I would not have done it. Different, like Barkha said, it's a very sensitive, very sweet, very thought-provoking film, but it's not preachy. And I think people need to see it to actually know what we're talking about. So on 6th October, on Prime Video, we see this movie.
And just one final question to wrap it up is that you have had, like you moved to US, you came back and everything, and then you've been connected with cinema throughout. But your life in US was very different to how it is here. You could slip under the radar and be just yourself. Now, of course, once you're here, it's mayhem as it has always been. What do your kids and your husband find the weirdest thing when they see you, the star, the craze, the hype around you here? Has there been times when they have been sort of like bewildered by all of it?
Yeah, initially when we moved here, because my kids were not really aware of how things work here. Also, when I moved there, it was different. When I moved back, it was different, especially with the paparazzi and everybody's everywhere. Whether you go to a restaurant or they are outside, whether you go anywhere, and that was something that took them by surprise. Once my kid came home, my youngest son Ryan, and he said, "Mom, something weird happened." I said, "What happened?" He says, "One of my friends asked me, 'Who's your mother?'" So he's like, "She's my mother." He says, "Oh no, we know Madhuri Dixit is your mother, and you're so lucky. You're lucky she's your mother."
Yeah, well, that's
So he came and says, "But Mom, you're just my mother." I said, "Yes, of course,
exactly.
I'm just your mother." Right? So those kind of things. Now they're grown up and
Now they're used to it, of course, and
they
they're
don't even think. Yeah, they don't even think about it. Yeah.
Ritwik and I are showing off about that, though. I think
We fully think about it all the time.
We're like, hey guys, yeah, stop it now. Yeah, enough.
Even if somebody doesn't know, we pull them and we tell them, "Do you know who's playing our mother?"
I can totally relate to that, because I'll tell you, my first ever 3-camera setup video interview was with Madhuri ma'am. And when I sat with her, I made a very bad joke and I said, "Ma'am, मैं अपना on-camera debut आपके साथ कर रहा हूँ." So, and she was so nice and sweet enough to say, "Oh, that's very nice." But so I know when you have the same frame with her, you tend to brag. I am totally on board with this. Yeah.
Keep bragging.
It was a pleasure talking to all of you. Looking forward to the film. All the best for it. And all of you have wonderful smiles. Please keep smiling. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhimanyu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.